Rickie Collins, that's a flip that we saw coming. That's a flip we saw coming, Mark. It just seemed like Joe Sloan was chipping away at that stone. I don't know if you know about that great Aerosmith song, Chip Away the Stone, but Joe Sloan was rocking and rolling and chipping away at that stone, Mark. And you're letting Rickie know that he's the priority for 2023, for the 2023 class. He was probably who, back when we did a show on Arch Manning, Mark, the show when he committed, I was like, we're going through our head. You asked me the question, who's the 2023 quarterback now? And I'm like, well, this guy is going here. This guy, Eli Holstein's going. And then I'm like, well, Rickie Collins, he's committed to Purdue. He's committed to Purdue. And then I'm like, yeah, LSU should probably put everything to either Rickie Collins or they're just not going to get a quarterback in this class. So it seemed to me that it was either Rickie Collins or bust. And so we obviously understand now fully. They wanted a quarterback. They had to have a quarterback. Joe Sloan feels like there's never going to be a class at LSU where they go without signing a quarterback, and I think that's a very smart thing to do as well. And they went full on with Rickie Collins at the Bayou Splash event, invited the young man in, and Rickie reconsidered is not just a hashtag, Mark. That is a reality. The young man, reconsidered his commitment to Purdue, decommitted, and we'll see if LSU can pull off his commitment. But I'm going to tell you right now, he's a Tiger. This is probably the biggest dream for come true for Rickie Collins. This is something that he's wanted for a while, and LSU under the Orgeron era, we're not giving him or his family the time of day whatsoever. Those were wounds LSU's new staff had to heal, and there was guys that maybe LSU had above him in this class's pecking order. And maybe it might not sit too well that, it was maybe these guys had to make their decisions first before LSU went 100% at him. But it does not negate the fact that LSU went 100% at him, made him the priority for the class. That is still enticing. His family feel that respect from this staff. And, Mark, I look at Rickie Collins as a fantastic talent. And I'm just going to give a huge shout out to my guy, A. Diesel, AD, because AD Perkins 2 years ago, first dude who ever told me about Rickie Collins. He was like, Rickie Collins is better than Eli Holstein, Arch Manning, and, throwing some other 2023 quarterback he brought up. And I was like, what? And everyone else was like, you're crazy. You're crazy, AD. And I was like, I think AD is onto something. I think he's that's interesting. I didn't know who Rickie Collins was at the time. This is way back in 2020. Sure enough, I looked him up. I was like, damn, he's good. And I didn't think he was better than Eli Holstein at the time. But, man, I feel like he's inching right there. He's another Elite 11 quarterback out of Woodlawn High. Part of this just glorious Louisiana class of quarterbacks. LSU had to have one of these guys. Joe Sloan had to be a part of the party with getting one of these Louisiana guys. And Rickie Collins is going to be LSU's class pinnacle quarterback, it appears.
Rickie Collins, 6'2", 190, right there in Baton Rouge. Can't let him get away. Almost did to Purdue, and we will see how that transpires at this point. But 13th rated quarterback in the country for the 2023 class. But maybe better than that. Top dozen in the state of Louisiana. He's a top 200 player in the composite at 177. Took a visit to Tallahassee to look at Florida State a couple weeks ago as well.
Yeah, Florida State's done a pretty good job with some of these recruits. They're really high on Shelton Sampson's list as well. So Florida State's done pretty good in this recruiting cycle.
Yeah, in their heyday, they used to be able to get into Louisiana a little bit and do some damage.
Oh, Warwick Dunn. 2 words.
He's the classic example. That's it. That is it.
One of my favorite players.